So now the U.S. Supreme Court has ruled in favor of Idaho and West Virginia laws, these are state laws now, that ban transgender athletes from participating on female sports teams. So the challenges against those laws have now prevailed. Don't know what the breakdown was. Some thought it might be 9-0. Others were suggesting 7-2. We'll await that and bring in our legal panel, Jonathan Turley, Brett Tolman, former federal prosecutor, and Carrie Severino, former law clerk for Justice Thomas and president of JCN. Okay, Professor Turley, the Supreme Court rules in favor of those laws. Break it down.
This is what we anticipated after the oral argument. The justices appeared to view this as a matter left to the states. This is welcome news for many in the country. This is an issue that polls almost at 70% in favor of keeping sports to biological genders. So this is likely to really spur on other states to follow suit in terms of their own laws. It also reflects the fact that the court previously, in fact last year, said that transgender status is not a protected class in the sense of race or religion. So that is a consistent position. Particularly justices like Justice Barrett have been extremely outspoken on that point, saying that this is not going to happen, to treat transgender status as that same type of protected class. And during the argument, the litigators actually sort of tried to avoid that because they knew where the majority of the court was.
And Shannon Bream, you've got a little bit of more information for us as this has just come down from the court.
Interesting opinion in that there are all kinds of splits, concurrences and dissents, but nearly every justice is signed on to concurring at least in part. We'll have to read the different concurrences and dissents here, but all of them support this decision at least in part. From the majority opinion, it says sports are highly competitive and generally zero-sum. At almost every turn, someone wins and someone loses. Every athlete who makes a team takes a roster spot from another athlete, and every player who earns playing time reduces the playing time of a teammate. Every player who makes the starting lineup sidelines another who remains on the bench. They go on to say this, like every student who earns an athletic scholarship takes that opportunity away from another student, and so on. Women and girls who play sports care deeply about all of these things. They obsess about them. They spend extraordinary time and effort in the heat and in the cold to work out early in the morning and late at night to get a little faster, a little stronger, jump a little higher, shoot a little better, and it goes on from there. But essentially says they have to savor these athletic accomplishments and cherish them. And what these states have done here, they say they should be allowed to have these life-changing opportunities on an equal playing field without fear of physical injury from biological males or being forced to compete against biological males. They say consistent with Title IX, which we know was created to protect women's sports opportunities, and the Equal Protection Clause, we hold that the states may maintain women's and girls' sports for biological females. So big wins as we expected here for West Virginia and Idaho, and a recognition that there are differences in sports, and when you give a slot to someone else, it costs someone else. And in this case, they say women and girls should be protected from that. If these states choose to do that, they have a right to do so.
Shannon, can I ask a question? I'm sorry if it's going to be a dumb question, but you know, sometimes it's my specialty. So does that mean, I know what that means for Idaho and West Virginia, but let's take another state that wants to go in a different direction. Is it saying that the states get to decide, or is it saying that essentially? Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, essentially, it sounds like what I've read of this so far is sounding like these states have the right to represent that interest. I have to keep reading to see if it goes more broadly than that. But the question here was whether West Virginia and Idaho could do this, not whether you could stop other states from deciding differently. So we'll continue to parse this. But it seems for many states, and there are at least 24 or so, who've done something similar to West Virginia and Idaho, that they have good legal standing to maintain those laws where they've passed them similar to these.
So, Shannon, in a moment here, we're going to bring up a young lady by the name of Peyton McNabb. She's from North Carolina. She was a high school athlete. You might remember her story from about a year and a half ago. She was severely injured in the head by a biological male on the women's volleyball court. There's video of it, too, and there she was at the State of the Union address. Idaho adopted this law 6 years ago. West Virginia followed a year later. Carrie Severino, your reaction on this ruling now?
This is an absolute win for women's sports. I've got a daughter who plays sports, and this is showing that the Supreme Court understands that, that Title IX, the Equal Protection Clause, protect women as women. I think it seems like there were some really great concurring opinions there. Justice Thomas points out transgender status is not a protected status. And even it's significant. Even Justices Sotomayor, Kagan, and Jackson concurred in part on this. They acknowledged that the athletes have said that Title IX says sex, and that means biological sex. So I think that's actually an amazing result here. That's a win for reality, because we know that when this law was passed, that's absolutely what Congress understood sex to mean. We can't take the words of the statute and then try to redefine them to mean something else. If Congress wants to pass a different law, okay, but the court can't redefine that.
And Brett Tolman on Title IX, like if they had not ruled in this way, I mean, then what's the point of Title IX?
Yeah, Dana, your question was actually a great question. And the reason is because people are asking, did the Supreme Court finally look at biology? Did it look at the science? And is it applying what I was really anticipating? And that was there going to be mention of equal protection? I think, we have to dive into the case, but this is a message. It's a strong message that Title IX is important. It protects women in sports. I have daughters. I have granddaughters that are starting to play sports. We want to see that they are able to compete fairly. The Supreme Court sent a strong message today, and I think all the states who might have other ideas of trying to go against a ruling like this, we'll see if the court, successfully is going to hold at bay additional efforts to encroach into women's sports by biological men. But I'm hopeful that the message is strong enough and the ruling is tight enough that we avoid it.
All right, all three of you stand by. I want to introduce now Peyton McNabb, Independent Women's Forum Ambassador, former three-sport high school athlete from North Carolina, severely injured by a biological male on the women's volleyball court. Good morning to you, and congratulations. You won.
Good morning. Thank you so much.
How do you feel now?
I'm just feeling so blessed. Of course, this is something that means a lot to me, and it affected me personally. And, there's a lot of eyes on this. Across the country, there's families, there's parents, and there's coaches and daughters who are watching this decision being made. And I'm just so thankful that they get to understand that they are protected and it's okay for their state to protect them, because that's all it was. All that they were having to determine is if it was okay if states could protect their girls or if it was allowed. So I'm thankful that states are able to protect their girls. Of course, they shouldn't have been put in that position to begin with, but again, this really does help the Supreme Court, because to me, if they wouldn't have ruled this way, they would have lost all credibility. So I'm very thankful it went this way, and I'm excited to see it keep pushing in the right direction.
Peyton, I just want to mention, one, that it's great to see you again. And I remember years ago when you came on with your dad. And, a lot of parents have fought very hard for their girls. And I'm curious about your feelings in terms of their love and support for you and their willingness to stick up for you when this was happening.
Yeah, this is really a full circle moment, because you guys were the first interview that I ever had. So this is really a full circle, but my dad has been with me through all of this. My whole family has, my community and my sister. This has been an insane thing that happened to us, and it's happened all around, and it's not just me at all. It's not a unique experience. And so many families, so many moms and dads they've just felt so helpless watching their daughters struggle, being put in this it seemed impossible situation. So to see where we're at now versus where we were when this first started, when I first met you guys, it's just an insane progress that we've made. And I'm incredibly thankful and blessed to have had parents who cared so much about me and pushed me to keep fighting until we got to some good news.
It's been interesting to watch you grow up. Thank you, Peyton, for your time.
Proud of you.
Yeah. Be sure to like and subscribe for all the Fox News latest on YouTube, and catch full shows streaming now on Fox One.